Hello and good evening from Germany. This is Jonathan Quill-Higgins III, and this is the premiere of the Elite Horology channel. And of course, I screwed up the intro. That is a very good and promising start. For now, we have a couple of visitors. I see that something is going on in Bangkok, but everybody who wants to join me or join us for some watch talk is very welcome. I had a long discussion with our friend Jamie Opulence, and he's famous for the lines, own your watches, don't let your watch own yourself. And I took that to heart. This week I had to do some gardening, and that is what I did. So I hope everybody approves. So other than that, I have a guest already in the back room, and I would like to welcome the original OC. Hello and good evening.
What's up, Jonathan? Good evening to you.
Yeah, good evening. No, it's good afternoon for you, isn't it? Yeah.
It's good afternoon for me, but it's good evening for you.
Yeah, totally. Yes, I have nothing better to do than doing some watch talk.
Yeah, me, on the other hand, I do have better things to do. I'll be heading off to the Bryan Adams concert tonight. Bryan Adams, the god of Canada, will be in the New York area tonight, and I'll be there. And after the show, reach out. If you're going to be at the Bryan Adams concert, reach out to me. Let me know. We'll meet up for a drink.
How many concerts did you visit from Bryan Adams so far?
I've never seen Bryan Adams live,
no?
So this will be my first time.
First time. I would be curious about the demographics, if it's along his age or if even the younger crowd will join him.
Do you think it's going to be 13,000 cougars in the?
Probably yes, and throwing panties on the stage.
Like more likely girdles and Spanx.
Did you get some panties ready?
For me, no. My panties are too valuable to be thrown on stage.
Yeah,
Jonathan.
Yeah, and I know that how keen you are with a sponsorship. So, yes. So I see some punters already in the back room. I think you were spruiking the channel because I think that those are all guys from the watch community. I pinned the link already for the show in the comments. So if anyone is willing to join us, don't be a stranger, don't be shy, and just join us, because OC is already on his way out almost. So we have Logan Hall in the comments. Hello, Logan. And we have the awesome Pavan. Is that correct?
Awesome Pavan, yeah, awesome Pavan. What's up?
Yeah. Basically, CNN model 24-hour watch talk. Would you accept the title globalist horology or something like that?
Globalist. I don't care.
Yeah,
it's all about the quality of the content, not the name of the channel. If the quality is good, people will come. You build it, and they will come.
I think with this kind of concept, we are doomed to be kicked out. So probably that globalist will be my default, or my rescue. Okay, that wasn't funny. Okay, so we have Mr. Ghost giving me three thumbs up. Thank you very much appreciated. We have Johnny O. The channel should be renamed "The Two Seasoned Gentlemen," as the description indicates. OC, do you want to comment on that?
Well, I'm definitely not seasoned and barely a gentleman, so that description should probably be changed.
Yeah. I'll do that in the next couple of weeks when I have some better ideas. And we have Thomas Burnett here from the UK. Hello, good evening, Thomas.
How are you doing? I see. How are you doing, Jonathan?
Good to see you again.
Yeah, good to see you.
Thank you very much for joining me on the premiere. I very much appreciate that.
Yeah, watch talk. Hey.
Well, with OC, the watch talk is very limited.
Are you looking forward to Bryan Adams tonight, then? OC?
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Are you a fan? No, that's a no.
Not particularly. No.
You're from Canada. So I'm not from Canada, but if you're Canadian, you're required to actually own albums.
He's very successful, isn't he? He's very successful. It's
Very
hugely successful.
I hope his voice is good.
Yeah. I have a pressing question for OC that I thought up this afternoon. OC, you have 3 weeks to go to Geneva, so it's in 3 weeks.
That's right.
Are you bringing the Texan to get access to the Rolex canteen?
I'm not going to bring it. I'm not going to bring it this time. I don't really have time to travel over to the Rolex headquarters, and it's probably going to be a futile attempt anyway. I think it would make a good video. Someone following me and like me banging on the door or like bum rushing the reception desk, and they're like, "Sir, you can't come in." And then I dart towards the staircase and run up, like, "I want to see John, whatever his name is, John Philippe Dufour, John
Dufour,
John Dufour. Yeah. I demand to be led into the executive dining room."
You may be surprised. Maybe they roll a red carpet with OC printed on.
I doubt it.
John Frederick
usually gets, whoever the person who gets the red carpet rolled out is James Dowling, who's known as Mr. Rolex. He had a white gold Texan and actually wore that 2 years ago when he was invited to the executive dining room at the top floor of the Rolex building, where they host people during that week, and made me jealous. He actually sold all of his Beta 21s, sold a lot of his vintage pieces. Thomas saw the Texan in person last year. I forced him. I'm like, "Look at this," and he tried to
Cellini, and it's not Cellini, the King Midas. Yeah.
Oh, the King Midas.
Midas as well. Yeah. Beautiful Texan. Yeah.
I'm not a Rolex fanboy, but if I had that Texan, I wouldn't miss that opportunity. And the first occasion that I would be in Switzerland, I would give it a try. And I'm pretty sure you would be surprised how welcoming they are, because that offer apparently stands.
I believe that there is a white gold Texan for sale today at a Swiss dealer called Plus Ultra. I think I saw it on Instagram. Let me just double check my notes here. No, it's available from the Vintage Concept, which is one of the big vintage dealers in Hong Kong. Jonathan, I'm going to ask you.
I'm typing. Or do you have it ready?
You can find it on Instagram as the Vintage Concept Official. If you find it on.
I was just trying to find the webpage.
Make sure you don't box yourself. Or you could find the webpage. It might be harder to find there. But they have a white gold Texan for $80,000. Okay. So the white gold ones are very, very rare.
Really?
But huge shout out to Muhammad Ali. I want to say hi to Muhammad Ali in the chat. He's headed to Chicago next Saturday, coming to the United States. I am keeping an eye on the flights from New York to Chicago. They went up a little bit, and me being as cheap as possible, I don't want to pay like $1,000. Listen, Muhammad is a great guy, but I'm not paying $1,000 just to have dinner with him. I'm not sponsored. Not sponsored by the gray market cartel, Jonathan. I'm not made of money. I can't do it. So
he's a great guy, Muhammad. I met up with him on last Saturday at the British Watchmakers Day, and we went for a burger. Well, he didn't have a burger, but he arrived late after we'd all finished. But it was great to meet up with him. Yeah, he's a good, smashing guy, and got to see his Pepsi, and it was very nice. And can't say enough about him. He's a great, smashing guy.
I'm gonna wear my Pepsi if I make it to Chicago.
Oh, white gold Texan, very nice.
Yeah, there it is. Is that not incredible?
Is it? Is it Texan or Texano?
I think it's both. I think probably it depends. Like if someone from outside the United States probably labeled it the Texano, as in like you have to be a Texan oil billionaire in order to afford it. That's the rumor of how that nickname came about.
Yeah.
But you do a search for Chrono 24 for Texano, you'll find it. If you do for Texan, it's also, but I'm not sure. It's either or. I'm not sure. That's a good question for me to ask Rolex when I ambush them next month in Geneva, when I barricade myself inside the lobby of Rolex headquarters and demand to see Jean-Baptiste Philippe Dufour,
whoever the CEO is.
Whatever the CEO is. Whoever the CEO is.
So yes, good evening to our friend Muhammad Ali, always there to support us. super kind gentleman, and I hope to see him very soon as well. We have Goldfinger 0808, a celebrity from your side of
Trinidad and
of the web.
Tobago. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's a massive collector. He has the Platinum Daytona and just so many beautiful pieces in his collection.
Does he have
Yeah.
other things than Rolex, or is he also?
Yeah. Just Goldfinger. Just type in the chat like a 2 or 3 of your most pieces of which you are the most proud.
So we have Carolyn Martin here supporting us. Thank you very much for joining in. I hope that it's going to be interesting and entertaining for you.
Probably not.
Probably not. We wait for the interesting part until OC leaves.
It's not. And Jonathan is terrible at humor. This German humor is just, I mean, it's awful. I mean, he tries so hard. He's not.
I'm trying so hard. Yes.
He's less funny than Daniel Katz.
Come on, OC. Come on, OC. You told me make it spicy, make it funny, and now I'm trying hard. And now
you're trying. I mean, trying jokes is just not spicy.
Yeah.
It's just dumb.
Oh, okay.
But keep trying. It's funny.
I'll leave it.
It's so bad. It's funny.
Yeah, okay. Well, at least you give me kudos for trying.
Mr. Ghost, hello. Yeah, Texano. Yeah, that's a beautiful looking. What I love most about it, if you pull the picture back up, is that the lug, the way the bracelet integrates into the case, is actually the opposite of how you would traditionally see it. You normally see a watch case with lugs, 2 lugs coming out, and a bracelet sliding in the middle. And picture, Jonathan.
Yeah.
Produce.
Yeah,
and here with the Texano, what you see is the case actually comes down in the middle, and the bracelet attaches on the 2 sides, and the spring bars. Actually, the bracelet actually slides off. That end link slides off to open the case. It's really, really good. This is one of the first watches to have. Actually, it was the first Rolex, I believe, to actually feature a sapphire crystal.
Didn't they do a quartz version as well of the Texano?
The Texano is a beta 21 movement, so it is quartz. So
right.
this is pre-oyster quartz. This is when the industry was going through the quartz crisis in the late 60s, and 21 Swiss manufacturers got together, formed a consortium to develop a quartz movement of their own, and IWC, Patek Philippe, and Rolex, and many others put that movement, designed watches for that movement, and this is the watch that Rolex designed.
Yeah, and sweeping secondhand, so there is no step motor.
There's no step. It's a smooth quartz, and this was the most accurate movement of the day. And this was the most expensive watch that Rolex ever offered, and that's why when you bought it, it came with a certificate called the Rolex Quartz Club, and that certificate basically guaranteed you access to Rolex headquarters in Geneva. You buy these, and this is one of also two watches that's actually numbered in the back. So I have this piece, it's numbered, hand engraved numbering in the back. And the other model to feature numbering is the
King Midas.
King Midas, that's right.
Really? Wow.
So do you have that certificate with your watch?
I don't. Or? No, I didn't. No, that certificate did not come. That's with the watch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but just like I said, I think you're missing out a great opportunity and a great chance. However, you're not a flipper, so you're bound to own that for a little while, and hope that you're going to return to Switzerland and Geneva. And
that actually needs a service or a replacement battery, and I've been very reluctant to let anybody touch it. Yeah. So it actually isn't in a non-working condition right now. I could just set it at 1010 and stop.
Did Rolex also offer a lifelong free battery change, just like with the Oyster Quartz?
They haven't. This particular watch has been when Rolex looked at it, they said they will service it, but it has to be part of the Rolex Atelier restoration program.
Oh, that's expensive.
You have no idea. So have you ever seen a watch that came back from the Rolex restoration Atelier? It comes in a special big box.
Oh yeah.
Big brown wooden box, and it's very, very expensive to do. I've seen some people do vintage Daytonas and vintage Submariners and submit it to them. But my piece would have to go there, and it would be probably around minimum $12,000 to do a full restoration of it.
But it's if that watch here is 80,000, it would probably
I bought mine for under. I bought mine for under $20,000.
Okay. So, but you also have the white gold, don't you?
Yellow gold.
Okay. So we have here a comment by Goldfinger who's sharing with us
some heavy hitters.
Yeah, who's sharing with some heavy hitter. Remy Cole's Grönefeld chronograph. Oh,
beautiful.
That's already on order. He has an order for the Grönefeld
beautiful
chronograph. Yeah.
And patiently waiting for confirmation of a Simon Brett. Get out of my way. I'm also waiting. So
I've met Simon Brett and I've tried that on Goldfinger. I've tried the chronometer Artisans on, and it's a beautiful watch. The dragon scale gold pattern on the dial is absolutely beautiful. You'll love it.
I'm looking forward to the competition. I want more young people who maybe worked at Patek Philippe and think they can start a watch company to create their own $50,000 dress watches and compete against Simone Brett and J.N. Shapiro. And I know one of the topics on today's show, Jonathan, is Fleming. Mm-hmm. And these are local guys in New York, I think, that started this watch company. And they think everybody thinks they can make $50,000 watches. Go for it. More competition is better. And I would probably never buy a $50,000 watch from one of these upstart.
Yeah, because brands. You're so conservative and close-minded. So
very close-minded and very conservative, and I would never do it.
So, well, but $30,000 watches from people like Silver Brevet Noto and Rune Backendorf and people like that, and you can go a bit lower and maybe dabble with brand new startups. And would you do that, OC? $30,000 maybe?
Nope.
No. Okay.
Nope. I wouldn't even do $30,000 for Moritz Grossman, and they're a legitimate company.
Yeah, they probably survive. So yes, thank you very, very much, OC, for introducing to today's topic, which is the new Fleming watch, and the title is New American Independent is now entering the stage. Fleming presented their watch last week with a lot of media buzz and a lot of media hype.
Which means these are darlings of the industry. Yeah. They're corporate backed by the people in New York, the people at Hodinkee. They run in the same circles. I like the guys. I mean, I've met them many times, especially Waitlisted. He's a famous guy on Instagram. He's a photographer, and he's a co-founder. I think he is. I don't want to mislabel him. I think he's a co-founder of this company and co-designer of the brand or whatever. But he's basically a photographer, a very famous watch photographer here in New York. Maybe he works with. He's freelance, works for Hodinkee or whatever. But these guys are like plugged in. You know, like Simone Brett is like a corporate darling, and they're spruiking, and I mean that in a loving sense. This $50,000 watch because they're friends with everybody.
So this is a Series 1, isn't it? It's called this one.
I'll give my verdict a little bit later.
It's a good looking watch. There's no doubt about it, though. But they all look the same. A lot of these.
I mean, if you replace that logo with Grönefeld, nobody would take offense.
100%. Yeah, you're right. I like the case. I like the design of the lugs. I like how the lugs are hollowed out. Reminds me of a Code 1159. I like how they continued that design through the mid case, the middle of the case. I like the tremblage on this particular version. I like Moritz Grossman tremblage better, but that's another story. But it's a beautiful looking watch. And there's 3 versions. There's a tantalum, a platinum, and a rose gold, I believe, something like that. This one's the ugliest version. This is it's very orange. I know it's like a copper. I'm not sure what that's supposed to be, but that's kind of a polarizing color. And this one
I like the guilloche on that dial, but I agree with the colors. It's a little bit Marmite. I would agree.
This one would have been, it would have been served better if it were a little bit more salmon. I think that people would have jumped through hoops for this one if it were more salmony color.
So the dials have been sourced by Karivuutilainen's company.
Oh fuck! Again, this guy makes more collabs than Marvel Comics.
He's got the factory to produce it, Rich Lennon Coaten. You know, he's the main producer. So
sick of Karivuutilainen
come on.
pimping out his dials to anybody who will have.
I'm not sure if that is the case. I think they have to pay dearly, and that is probably one of the factors, because both guys here from the Fleming company are newbies and not really established. Just like when Zenith is knocking on Karivuutilainen's door and say, we have some competition chronometers to finish, could you do that? And after 10 years, he's doing that. So probably money talked to have Karivuutilainen do those dials for that company. But that is all speculation. We don't know what that really went like. Silence on the panel. Okay. Silence. So yeah, so they offer that here, platinum with an aventurine dial. And we also have a picture of the movement, which is an outsourced movement by Chronode, by Jean-François Coyon, I think it's
Jean-François
Mojon, yes. And my main issue with this movement is it looks very industrially finished. It has the famous Max Büsser and Friends arc on the balance wheel. You can see that Chronode knows how to do those, just like the LM 1 and 2 watches from Max Büsser. You can see that arch. I'm not a big fan of that, but all in all, in my opinion, that movement finish is very industrial. I like the carving around the power reserve. However, that is something that I really like. Other than that, it is basically the same movement, just like in the Chapek, in the Quai du Berge, without those caps on the mainspring barrels. Same power reserve. I think the Chapek is nicer, skeletonized. Gives a little bit more view on the wheels.
Is that in the Quai du Berge?
Yes, Quai du Berge. Yeah.
Right, Quai du Berge. Yeah.
So
what do you think about Chapek? How do you think they're doing? You think they're surviving, or you think they're gonna be a victim of the softness in the market?
From what I've heard in the UK, they're not doing particularly well. They've said that they don't want to be put in major retailers. From what I've heard, they don't want to be put in major retailers. They want to be right above that and be more
selling their own watches and make the last 50% of the margin.
Yeah. So I don't know how they'll do. What do you think, Jonathan?
Well, I'm still waiting for my Antarctique, but it's going to be ready soon, and it will be there. I canceled my second order. I've ordered one in ice blue and one in dark blue, but I canceled the second order. Because, I was also a hype beast and thought probably I could flip one, but that didn't turn out well. At the moment, they are dropping, and I just don't want to deal with that. OC. Yeah.
I canceled my order today for the IWC Ingenieur.
Really?
Yeah, I had a deposit in for one, and it was the Aqua version. I put in the deposit, I think maybe April or May, maybe June of last year, and it just hasn't been delivered. And as a big FU to IWC, I communicated that I was canceling my order.
So was that because you got cold feet or because you're genuinely upset?
Because I got cold feet. Because the watch is now in the United States selling for way under retail. In the United States, that watch retails for $11,700 plus tax. It puts you like somewhere around $12,500. So, and they are routinely selling for about $10,000 or less
Really?
in secondary already. Yeah. So they really screwed up the launch. Had these watches been available in July, August, September, they would have sold well. People would have been duped out of their 11,700, but particularly the white and the black ones are selling far under. I think I saw one as low as 9,300, which is an absolute disaster, considering the main criticism of the watch was not about the watch itself, but about how they mispriced it. And I defended the pricing at the time, but the market speaks. The market determines what the price will be, and the market price is unfortunately way lower than what they wanted.
I think it's going to get worse when this watch is distributed to the ADs, and I think it's only a matter of time. Do you think they can continue doing the boutique only for this particular watch?
No, not unless they want to make this very limited. I don't think artificial scarcity is going to work with this one. The cat's already out of the bag. Omega did make the mistake on the white dials Speedmaster Moonwatch Professional. What they did is they didn't price it at 10,500 or 11,000. They priced it at 8,100 in the United States. It's almost the same as the regular black dial Moonwatch, and the reception has been overwhelmingly positive because people aren't focused on the price. They took that off the table. They took that whole argument off the table and said, okay, let's not make people focus on the price at all. Let's have them focus on how great the watch is. And it worked.
I was just going to say, LC, do you think the price of the this IWC was justified at launch last year?
I mean, at launch, possibly, because it was early 2023. We were 1 year into the decline of the watch market, but it was still a revival of a heritage piece, a revival of an iconic design. And I think they had them a much better chance then. Every week that went by, every month that went by, it got harder and harder for them to justify the price. And so that was their biggest mistake, not having it available closer to the introduction.
They were virtually running against a market that dropped.
Yeah, it was a good idea. I remember hearing about this watch. I heard about it in September of 2022 that this was going to be introduced. I was at the I can say I was at the US Open. I was invited there by Rolex, and I was at the US Open, and someone showed up and sat like a couple of seats next to me, and he was wearing a suit. I'm like, what is this guy doing wearing a suit to the US Open? So I'm like, you look a little out of place. Like, why are you dressed like that? He's like, oh, I just came from a meeting with IWC. I was with the CEO of IWC. So cool. And then we went chatting, and then after a while, he goes, by the way, are you a fan? I'm like, kind of a fan. He's like, I'm like a fan of the Ingenieur way back. He goes, oh, interesting. He said, by the way, they're reviving the Ingenieur. It's coming out next year.
And
you immediately called me and said, Jonathan.
Did I call you in secret and tell you that?
No.
I kept
you haven't.
Tight-lipped.
I hold that grudge.
Yeah, I'm usually pretty tight-lipped about stuff like that. No. So I might have told one.
It was just an attempt of German humor again. Yeah.
I know. I might have told Bondage and Discipline. I reached out quietly to two people, and I asked them if they were IWC fans, and if they said yes, and I kind of qualified them as being a legitimate, loyal IWC customer, then I kind of planted some hints that if they really liked the Ingenieur, they should continue to develop the relationship that they had with the boutique, and they'd be in a good position to get one.
First of all, the proper name is Ingenieur, because
is it Ingenieur?
IWC is in Schaffenhausen. Ingenieur. And did you ever handle that watch?
Yeah, at the Watches and Wonders last year, actually.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, and also we've been to other IWC boutiques. We meaning me and my two hands.
I can safely
Yeah.
say, and I went to the IWC boutique in London, and they had this one with black dial, and I was blown away by the quality of the bracelet, how nicely it feels, how slim it is compared to the predecessor with the IWC own movement, which was a blocky, chunky thing of a watch. And I really like it. I just didn't like it that they made it full boutique only. And usually I'm getting a good discount on IWC watches, and I'm just waiting for it hitting the AD. But probably on the secondary market, I'm getting it even cheaper.
Yeah, but you still want to get this?
Yes, I really want this. Yes,
Really.
Yeah.
Really? Which one? Aqua or black or which one?
black.
Black.
I like
like
the
that.
green dial. The green dial's really nice, I think.
I think the key for Ingenieur, when I have an IWC Ingenieur in mind, I see boring old guys with glasses in black and white images wearing lab coats.
That's exactly what it was like at Watches and
Yeah.
Wonders. In the IWC
It's true.
stand, in the
Yeah, they
IWC stand, all the IWC staff had lab coats on.
Yeah, but it was not black and white, so that is missing, and probably yeah, so probably 10 years older than me and with glasses. So yeah, I don't see color in this context in my brain image, but everybody sees it differently. By the way, I'm a big fan of titanium, but I don't see this particular watch in titanium. I think part of the feeling is the smoothness and the heft of the steel. I can't imagine that being good in titanium.
Yeah, well, they have one version in titanium, as
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
Yeah, it's got a gray dial. It's all very monochromatic.
Yeah.
But by the way, I know this is Elite Horology, but do you have an opinion, or have you shared your opinion on the white dial Speedmaster? Have you had a chance to look at it?
White
Or are we
dial
not
Speedmaster. Whew. My reply to, so I saw that was one of the rare cases where I watched your show together with Tim Wright because I saw the teaser.
Bullshit, you watch all the time. Come on.
No,
really
I
good
don't. I don't. But that interested me, and on the other channel, there was nothing left.
We know the other channels are in shambles.
So I saw you speculating about the price, and you were pretty much spot on. Everybody guessed over 10,000. My reply in my head when I heard that the first time was just when it was officially introduced. Big fucking deal. I mean, it is a Speedmaster now with a white lacquered dial with some black batons. I don't see where that is really something fancy or exciting.
I like it, but I mean, it's been about 20 years since they've done a white dial Speedmaster, isn't it? Disregarding the Snoopy too. I mean, but I've got a couple of friends who said that they don't like the red text, the red Speedmaster text on it, and they think that should have been in black. But I like the red Speedmaster text. It's nothing out of the ordinary or ultra special. It's a Speedmaster, like you say, but I like the dial. It's got a nice sort of shimmer to it. Yeah, that's funny.
So you sent me that, Thomas, and I really like that. Watchmakers, then I will create this new watch for the glory of God and to amaze the world and probably save 1,000 lives at sea. Watchmakers now, white dial, and we're done, boys. So yeah, I showed that last week already, so I'm not going to do that for too long.
I hate watch memes really annoy me. Most of them are bad, especially the ones you see posted to Facebook. Thomas, you're probably one of the ones that posts memes endlessly on Facebook.
No, someone sent me that, so I just thought it was quite funny. And
by the way, if you love me and you think Jonathan is completely unfunny, give the show a like, hit the thumbs up button, give it a like, and make sure you're subscribed, and you will catch every bad episode of the Elite Horology channel.
And I think this is a good time to spook your own channel, OC.
Oh yeah, and you can. My own channel is launching soon. It is the original OC on
Oops.
Oh,
Yeah. It's fun.
No, that was part of the German humor. I was just backstaging you when you were speaking. No. It was just a bad joke.
No,
Please.
come on, Jonathan.
Please,
come
no.
on, Jonathan. Let him speak his
No.
channel.
I gave him permission to spruik it. I was just pulling his leg.
Speak your channel, OC.
OC,
Come on.
please.
No, it's my channel is launching soon. As soon as I get to 100, a massive 100 subscribers, I'll do a surprise live stream. And on my inaugural live stream, everybody who attends will be wrenched and then immediately de-wrenched.
So what's it called? The original OC?
Very
That's
nice.
it.
Link
original OC,
link in
link
the
is in the
description
comments.
below. Yeah.
Please like and subscribe.
And dislike and subscribe. I don't care if you dislike, just like.
So what sort of topics are we going to be having? Straight watch talk, or are we going to be having some spicy topics, or bit of humor, bit of?
I have no idea. Listen, competition is good. The more channels, the better. And I figure, like when channels aren't on, maybe it'll be a hate stream. What do you think, Jonathan? Should we go full hate stream?
Is that your segue out of the Tim Wright universe?
No. But I'm very loyal to Tim. Tim does a fantastic show. He's the #1 YouTuber in the watch space, the highest rated daily live show in the industry every day, 5 o'clock Eastern. But I'm not going to promote that because I don't want to promote Tim on the show. I want to be fair, but he has an amazing channel, and I'm regularly on that panel. I'm 100% loyal, and this My New channel will probably be part of the Tim Wright Network, meaning everybody who's part of the Tim Wright Network is invited. Everybody's invited to participate. It'll be open.
You said now 3 times how loyal you are to Tim Wright. Are you afraid of getting fired?
Tim runs the show. I could be fired at any day.
Any day, yeah.
I serve as an unpaid intern, and
I'll welcome you with open arms. I see.
And an invited guest panelist. And if one day he's like, he doesn't want me on the panel, he doesn't have to let me on.
Okay,
I like to think that I help.
This channel
is what?
This channel is Elite Horology, and I wanted to come back to this Fleming and give my my final thoughts or my thoughts about this watch. So yeah, it's a little bit difficult for me, and I remember my discussion that I had at Recepi, and they are a little bit annoyed by everybody coming up with a new independent watchmaker, no matter how credible they are, no matter how much experience they have, and they're kind of a little bit reserved about those Phoenix or one-hit wonders. And I would classify for now, until they prove me being wrong, in my opinion, it's just something which is not refined, which is a little bit dominated with return on money, and not really a passionate project from somebody who was working for Patek Philippe, for example, or supervised amazing projects for Max Büsser. I think Recepi has a total different reputation and credibility because of his vita. Even Simon Brett, people are objecting that he's not a true watchmaker, but he's very connected to all the cool guys. He has a lot of experience in managing projects, and I think his watch is very unique, and it just shows that this is a passionate project, while this Fleming, to me, just looks like a Grönefeld with a Karivuti Leinendahl. And then we have those Instagram pictures with not really nice welding on the lux that you praised, just OC. That shouldn't happen when you're having high resolution photography and when you're trying to build an image of an independent watch, and when you try to convince potential clients to pay 50,000 and more on a watch brand that was born yesterday.
I'm not a fan of those Code 1159 lugs, to be honest with you.
I like them. The Code 1159 actually is really, there's videos of how they actually manufacture it, and the top part of the lug going all the way around is connected to the case, and there's actually a space on the bottom lug. It's not connected on the bottom. They just manufacture it. So it's just extremely tight tolerances, probably like microscopic space. I don't know what is that, microns or
Right.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, like microns in distance between the lug and the case back. But it's designed to look. It looks like it connects, but it actually doesn't. It's connected only at the top.
Yeah,
I
I'm
like the
just
Code
trying.
1159.
I like it. I like the watch itself.
I keep trying to steer Jonathan into actual mainstream watch brands like AP. You know,
Oh yeah,
so
but AP. I'm looking forward to see what comes up from AP. I think Benamias really milked that horse, and I think the follower in management will have a very tough time because everybody expect that this will go on with AP. Now, for the next couple of years, probably all the watches that we see have been created under the supervision of Benamias. So probably for the next 2 or 3 years, AP is safe or relatively safe. But I'm not really fascinated about it. Those gaps that you mentioned are probably a little bit visible here on those images. So we're talking about those lower lugs. There's a microscopic gap between the case back and the lower end of the lugs. I had fears that we will see a lot of watches where those lugs are bent upwards, to be honest, because this also requires a lot of thinking.
it's pretty thick. It's pretty thick. It's not. It's not going to move.
Gold. It's still gold. It's still gold.
What do you think? What do you think, by the way, of this? Have you seen a prettier stamped dial than this? This is a pretty nice, for a mass production stamped dial. I mean, and by mass production, I mean in the thousands, I'm assuming. This is a pretty nice looking dial, don't you think?
Actually, I have no disagreement with you. I think the new dials are really smashing and so much better than the dials from the first generation that looked like a Montblanc watch. And that just shows, and I think I've been saying that on my show, I think the main weakness is the dial. The second weakness of the Code 1159 they didn't rectify are those fancy reflections within the crystal when you see it from a side perspective. It looks like you have 10 layers of crystal, and I think they should work on that. They work now on the dial, and I think the Code 1159 is on a good way. However, in my personal opinion, AP is on its way down in terms of popularity. They are trying to make the money now with higher complications, and not sure if that goes well and if that is really sustainable.
I found the Code 1159 a bit dull, to be honest with you. I prefer the chronograph. I find that more interesting. The chronograph Code 1159. And,
yeah, it's a little thick. It's a little thicker, but
is it?
Yeah, it's a little thicker.
And definitely the star wheel. I mean, that's really nice. I mean, love that.
Shout out to Humble Pine, who actually has the star wheel, and it's I've
really,
seen it. Yeah, it's a beautiful watch.
Yeah, it really is nice.
Yeah, Star Wheel was introduced before Uhrwerk made a similar concept with displaying the hours, as far as I know.
He's still adjusting to how to determine the time on it.
Well, it's not 1991 it came out. The original Star Wheel came out in 1991, didn't it? I mean,
I like the original Star Wheel.
Yeah, the original
AP,
ones, no?
Jules Audemars, I think it was that. Wasn't it? 1 second. I'm not having my admin to... Sorry, Thomas?
It was Audemars Piguet Star Wheel.
Yeah.
It was
Star Wheel.
Huge shout out to Crappy Luxury in the chat.
Crappy
Also, Cleveland. What's up, Cleveland? How you doing? Cleveland's cool. Crappy Luxury's cool. Welcome to the Elite Horology channel.
Yeah, I can only echo that.
This is white gold. It's about I think $55,000, I believe. It's quite pricey, but it's good. Those subdials are black onyx, I believe.
Here, that is the first Star Wheel.
That's the original one, yeah.
Which
got a lot more worky sort of styling in it, I think.
Yeah, but I like this one because it's easier to tell the time because the hour appears within that white band at the top.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the hour is always visible within that white portion. So it's just really easy to see, okay, 10:14. Whereas on the new
Yeah.
one, it's just you have to really look and find out where the hour is. See?
And
It's just,
then
you can't look at it instantly say what is it?
the
I
new
guess
one's got the second hand as well, hasn't it? Which for Jonathan, he doesn't like that.
I think the second hand is so out of place on this particular watch. I think that is the biggest mistake on this.
Yeah.
Just leave it away.
It's a good one. It's a good one. And then the aventurine around the outside of the dial.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Once again.
It's
Yeah.
nice. It's nice. Good job. Good job.
But Aventurine is always the best when you see it in real life. By the way, the original Star Walker didn't have a second hand, which helped
Yeah.
on the watch.
Were those subdials made of what?
Sapphire crystal.
That's sapphire crystal.
Yeah.
So they don't discolor over time or anything being in there. Okay.
No. And I remember I even sold one of those. Unbelievable.
Really?
Here, yes.
Do you
Aventurine.
remember what it sold for?
I think it was a little bit cheaper than a perpetual calendar back then. So the normal AP perpetual calendar.
Yeah.
So it would, by today's standard, AP perpetual calendar, the normal one would be like 50,000. So probably the Star Wheel was 45.
Yeah, I get what he's saying, obviously, about the number actually appearing in the dial. It's a lot easier to read on the old one than on this new one, isn't it? So
OC has a pointer.
It's just a pointer on this one. 150 on this one, but
Yep. It's harder to read. It's harder to tell the time on this one than the old one.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, AP doesn't have problems selling those. Those are kind of trophy watches, I would say.
Yep. Is it okay to invite additional people on the panel? Don't be shy,
Oh,
guys. Don't be
totally,
shy.
totally. Yeah.
I'm dropping the link. Okay. If anybody wants to jump on, it's not just the Jonathan OC and
Thomas Burnett show.
Thomas Burnett show. It's your show. It's for all you elitists out there.
Absolutely.
You said it. You said it. Yes. So, in contrary to this Fleming watch that we've been discussing,
I'm trying so hard to distract him from talking about the Fleming. You notice that? It's working. For the most part, it's working pretty well, actually.
I think I made my point about the Fleming. I'm not the biggest fan. I'm a big fan of independence. I'm all for new concepts and everything. This is a little bit too generic and a little bit too greedy, may I say?
Yep. Just so I can force you to frantically pull up web pages, and I think that's fun to make you do that. What do you think of the Rolex Day Date that premiered during the Rolex ad at the Oscars? The new dial, that's the slate ombre dial on the rose gold Day Date, in conjunction with the 96th Annual Academy Awards. What do you? I know it's Rolex. I know you don't consider that. Yeah, it's not part of the big three, whatever they call that, the Holy Trinity.
Holy Trinity, which is
pull
obsolete.
Pull it up.
Yeah.
Pull it up.
I'm working on it. I'm waiting for Thomas Burnett giving his opinion while I'm
while you frantically search for
trying to pull it up. Yes. No, Monochrome didn't cover it.
Here's the conversation. 2 hype pieces.
Yeah.
Thomas, did you see that? Did you see that watch?
I think that invitation for you is now.
Which watch was that going to see?
It's a rose gold Day Date 40 with a slate ombre dial. It's a new dial configuration that they introduced in conjunction with the 96th Annual Academy Awards.
And it was
I don't think I saw that. No,
at the bottom of the ad.
Oh yes, that one. Yes, I did see that. Yeah, with a more sort of text, you just listen to it. Yeah. It's okay. I'm not a massive Day Date fan. I mean, I know a lot of people, it's a flex watch for a lot of people. It's a pinnacle of their Rolex collection. You know, it's the exit watch for a lot of people. For me, it's you know, I'd rather buy an independent than a day. I mean, being in England, wearing a gold watch it's a bit of a no-no in the UK. You're going to get it stolen. But yeah, they're very nice. They're gorgeous to look at. But I love the ever rose gold, the rose gold versions. I like this, and rather than the yellow gold. But
For me, it's the opposite. I would love this in yellow gold rather than rose
really,
gold. Yeah, I want this
really,
to be blingy, and I think the contrast of the slate and black with the yellow gold would be amazing.
right. Yeah, I do love that Rolex ever rose gold. It's really nice, really nice. The chocolate dials that they do are really nice on the.
So my
Daytonas
comment on
or-
this particular watch is just like Omega, big fucking deal. I mean, it's a rose gold date with a new dial. Okay, yeah. Ooh,
Hey, it's a Rolex announcement. We have to
yeah,
bow down to Rolex whenever they do anything.
yeah. And it's a very bad rendering of the side portion of the crown. If you have a look on that, the logo has been really badly superimposed. Do you think we will get more transparent case styles from Rolex this year?
I think that is a great question, Jonathan.
The first one tonight.
I think I don't know if they come up with like a platinum Submariner or a platinum GMT Master 2 or something like really special like that. I think they would consider putting a display case back, sapphire case back on it.
Yeah.
It would have to be something really special because I think they're reserving the display case back right now so far for the Le Mans, for the Platinum Daytona, and the 1908. So I'm actually interested to see if they come out with some new versions of the 1908, even though you barely seen any trickling out into the market.
I was just going to say that, OC. I was just going to say that. Do you think they'll expand 1908? I'd like to see moon phase, like the old Cellini moon phase. I'd like to see a calendar 1908, you know, something, a triple date or something. It's got a lot of potential in the 1908 range.
Hi, Junior Johnson.
Hi, Junior. Good to see you.
What's up, Junior? I think, I don't know if you're going to see updates every single year, but I think the goal is, and I hope it's the goal, I don't know if it is or not, that every couple of years or so that you see more and more complicated versions of those dress watches.
Yeah.
And hopefully they keep them thin and they start to become, complication and grand complication challengers, even though Patek Philippe really is the king there. And Longa is a poor man's second place. I think Rolex with the 1908 can start over time, like we're talking over decades now, to rebuild a prowess and a capability and credibility within high horology credibility for dress watches.
Well, they've never been high horology, have they? Really, they've been
no. Machine about high automated machine made horology. The dress watches.
The problem is when Rolex are leaving their playfield, talking about the Oyster, they always had a tough time, and the Cellini just showed that it was not flying off the shelves. And we had that discussion. How about a perpetual calendar by Rolex in the Cellini line or 1908? And I'm a little bit skeptic. But I would like to come back to the speculation about the Submariner with an open case back. The problem is the Daytona movement looks half decent when you open a case back. The problem with a GMT Master or Submariner is the standard automatic movement is not really exciting, even though you may put a gold rotor on, which is a little bit pierced out. It's not really getting my heart beating.
And they're not going to go through the motions of actually creating a more finished version of that standard. What is it, the 3235 or whatever they call that silly movement? Just for a high-end version of the Submariner.
Yeah. So I think that speaks against those plans actually. I agree that we will see more calendar, probably a moon phase on the 1908, just like they did with the Cellini. I'm very skeptic with perpetual calendar or higher complications with Rolex.
Yeah.
Was never successful, and Rolex usually learns from their mistakes, I would say. Also, I see it a little bit like the competition between Mercedes and Porsche. Until 20 years ago, it was an unspoken agreement that Porsche would never do a four-door sedan, and to return the favor, Mercedes would never do a sports car. Then Porsche violated that conduct by introducing the Panamera, which was then the gateway to those SUVs that they're making, and Mercedes countered that with the GT and GTS. So it will be interesting if Rolex really does that, what the reply from Patek Philippe will be.
So I see, as far as the Submariner 2.0 came out last year, the Yachtmaster Titanium, you think they're going to roll out a titanium Submariner?
I don't think so. No.
No.
I'm waiting for a platinum Submariner.
Really?
Yeah.
Right.
I think they should do that. And we analyzed that teaser, and I still insist there was a Submariner with an ice blue dial on that teaser trailer. OC, you want me to present this?
Yeah, this is interesting. This was a patent that was recently granted. It was granted a couple of weeks ago. And this is a Rolex patent for a big date complication. And they do a lot. Listen, they spend gobs of time coming up with all kinds of stuff that never makes it to production, never makes it to a watch. But this is an interesting one. And I think it leads to speculation that maybe because they don't want to put a Cyclops on the 1908. That would just kind of ruin the look of it. The Cyclops is reserved for everything else in the collection with the big chunky oyster case. So the idea, the rumor, speculation is that they would introduce some kind of big date complication on the 1908, and that would be kind of cool. Kind of cool.
Yeah,
They introduced
really
it
nice.
because right now the current 1908 is dateless. It's just they have a center seconds mechanism where they actually have a gear train that connects down to a sub-second, to a sub-dial. It makes it look like a sub-dial, a six second.
Small second.
Yeah, small seconds. Yeah, small. Makes it look like a small seconds, but it's actually the mechanism is actually center seconds. So what that has to do with this? Nothing. But they could come out with a big date version and put this somewhere like where the sub dial is now, like down low, and or up top. Who knows?
Yeah, but on top they have to.
A big day on the 1908 would look schmicker. Would look really nice, I think.
Yeah, and it won't be on the top because that is reserved for the Rolex crown. So I would guess it's.
Well, right now they have a 12 there.
Yeah.
You know, so depending on where actually it'd be really hard to put actually impossible to put. I don't know where they're going to put it, but whatever.
Yeah, and it's uncertain if that will be ever seeing the light. The fact that they applied a patent and got granted for it doesn't really guarantee that we will see that in the final collection. Just imagine, I'm pretty sure there are some smart, bright, and skilled people working in Rolex product development. When I was at Mont Blanc, you would be amazed how many different pens were coming out of the product development and then have been rejected or postponed and put back. And I'm pretty sure the same applies here with Rolex. The fact that we see a relatively conservative model policy from Rolex doesn't mean that they're working really hard and very creative behind the lines.
Correct. Well said, Jonathan. But what it does say is that the very smart and talented engineers and watchmakers and designers at Rolex were not unduly influenced by the Dresden Opera House, and they actually built the zero into the date like it should be. So for the first 9 days of the month, you'll actually see 01, 02, 03, rather than a blank there,
which
like
is OC's
on those
main beef.
terrible Longas which I love the Longa's Big Dates. I love the Longa 1. I love the Saxonia Big Date. I love so many of those models, but my little tiny pet peeve is that the first 9 days, I couldn't wear it the first 9 days of the month because it has a blank spot there. And it just looks
Yeah,
silly.
but which is a totally American point of view, because nobody in Europe writes a date with a 0 at the front. So, Thomas, do you agree with that, or would you love to have a 0?
No, I'm with OC. I agree. Nobody writes a date with a 0 in the front in Europe, but I agree. It needs symmetry. The date it needs symmetry, and the 0 balances it out. It gives it symmetry. It gives it a.
You guys are tough.
I love you. I love you, Langers.
Well, no
I love
problem.
you, Langers. I'm not rocking the boat. I love you, Langers. But a 0 does give it balance.
Thomas, nobody's watching this. I would admit that instead of that blank space, I will admit that the blank space bothers me. I'm still not decided if I'd rather have a 0 or the blank space. I haven't decided yet, but it bothers me. So maybe that is just the result of having constant conversations with OC, if that is a sickness that has been passed on. But it bothers me. Yeah. But I don't have a solution for that. Now I can see him smiling. Enjoy your victory, OC.
Temporary victory. You never know.
Okay. So, OC, you wanted to say that you have to leave, or can you stay for another couple of minutes?
No, I'll stay.
Okay. Because I wanted to fight a little bit against the image that this is a hate channel now for the independents, because I was spanking a little bit the new Fleming watch. And I wanted to show you that, which got my heart pumping. It is Taos. Thomas, have you seen that?
No, I've not seen this Taos. No.
Oh, see, did you hear about that?
No, tell me more. I'm really interested.
New independent watch company, and the watches are starting at 120.
Wow.
But hear me out.
Funny.
Wow.
This brand is started by a company called Atelier Olivier Vaucher. And Olivier Vaucher has a very highly skilled manufacturer for all kind of dials, and he's working for big Geneva players.
I didn't know the Vaucher was his first name was Olivier. This is the same movement manufacturer?
No. He has nothing to
do with Vaucher, the movement.
No, that doesn't have anything to do with Vaucher. Probably some part of his family is related, but this is not the guy between the Vaucher movement.
All these fucking guys are named the same. Like it's Philippe Dufour, Philippe this, Philippe that, and
I mean, the worst last name that you could have is Swiss. Would you agree with that?
I like Swiss. I think it's the best name you could have.
I'm just talking about the name.
Oh,
okay.
With one S or two S's?
With one.
Great name.
So, but this Atelier is husband and wife. She's a highly talented artist who was doing art on big canvas, and then started scaling down, and she does all the kind of crazy stuff. He started as an engraver. They're working since decades for the big players in the Swiss watch industry. And if you look down a little bit, what they made, for example, those are those fighters of in that
chess pieces.
No, there was a watch by, what is the name? I forgot the name. Help me. So they've been working for Hermes, and they made here Roger Dubuis. That is the name that I was searching. So those are here the how do you call those old fighters with the swords?
Spartans.
Not Spartans, middle-aged.
Vikings.
Warriors probably. So, but they're doing all kind of dials, and I think that is legit what they're doing, and that is basically a side business next to their normal way how they earn their money. And I think that is legitimate that they're trying to do their own thing. Because on the last Swiss and John show, we were discussing about Philippe Dufour being so fed up by working for AP. He commissioned 5 pocket watches for AP with Grande and Petite Sonnerie, and he felt so insulted by AP because the first watch has been returned. It was packed badly and damaged during transportation from one exhibition to another by AP. The second one was worn by an AP executive, and it was slammed into in a car door, and they returned it to Philippe Dufour to have it repaired. And Philippe Dufour then promised he will never work again for a big company and started his independent watch brand. And I can understand a little bit the frustration from those independent artisans who are working for those big brands, probably get a small pay and being pressured and not really appreciated. So I give them kudos for doing what they do, and they certainly have a kind of expertise and credibility for those independent watch brands. However, and now OC comes and says, who's going to service those watches? And that is, in my opinion, a legitimate question. If what happens if those owners of this brands retire, or if the project is dead, what happens then with the watches that went to existing clients? OC, what do you think?
Exactly.
Nothing
What
more?
does happen with them?
If you look here at the table, they're, for example, they are doing mosaic. So those the 2 people on the right are the founders. The one on the left is the watch guy who has the connection to the watch manufacturers, and they did some exceptional pieces of art. For example, here that mosaic that reminds me on those Vacheron artisan watches, and probably if you look closer, many of those amazing dials came out of this particular factory.
Yeah.
Really exciting. This is riveting content.
Yeah. Come on.
Let's see. High
Be
pipe,
a little
baby.
bit more positive. So yeah, so what really caught my attention is that mother of pearl watch that you see here on the title. 1 second, I try to make that a little bit bigger. Here we go. That is an engraving on mother of pearls, different layers. I think that is absolutely beautiful. Is it worth 130,000 Swiss francs? Probably not. But I would like to see how they engrave it, and I would be disappointed if that is done by a laser. I hope that this is done by hand. But here I see craftsmanship, and by people who know their stuff, and not just buy an expensive dial and put it in a generic watch case, and with bad welding, and then put a chronoid movement in the back. So I give them a little bit more credibility, and I have a little bit more fascination for this project than for the Fleming watch.
Don't knock chronoid. I mean, Simon Brett worked for Jean-Francois Marchand for a long time. Done his craft under Jean-Francois Marchand. So, you know, if you like Simon Brett, Jean-Francois Marchand's a bit of a watch god.
I have nothing against Chronaud or Mojon. Where I have a problem is the Fleming watch are buying their dials from Kari Voutilainen. They buy their movements by Chronaud, and with a fancy design on those mainspring barrels. And there is the ready watch. So that is a little bit not enough for me.
Right.
There's
So
no criticism on the Chronaud
they're a
movement.
watch assembler rather than a watchmaker.
Yeah, or project manager probably.
Yeah.
Is better put. Yeah. And I have I take issue with the price, which is 50,000, which is really on the high side for the Fleming watch, in my opinion.
It's high for any unknown, unproven, brand new brand.
Yeah. But if you scroll here, you can also see the improper welding. So it is not on one-off. Probably it's the same watch.
It's a disaster.
Yeah, shouldn't happen. Okay, so yeah, I had the discussion with James, the advisor, about Shapiro watches. He's a big fan of Shapiro watches, what he does, and he asked me what I have against them. Before I say what I think of them, what is your opinion about J.N. Shapiro, what he does?
I don't know enough about J.N. Shapiro. I know he's based in Los Angeles. I've heard good things about him. We have mutual friends, and I'm looking forward to seeing his watch. They're a little bit conservative for me, a little bit on the ornate side, but I appreciate what he's doing. It's just it's a little bit too Roger Smith for me, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, Josh Shapiro's, I think all the I saw Pete McConville video recently, and he was saying that a lot of the American watchmaking is about jobs in America and it being made in America, whereas the Swiss side of watchmaking is about sourcing parts from different and dials from different areas and assembling them in Switzerland, but I think Josh Shapiro is trying to fulfill that sort of American sort of ideal of having everything done in America, built in America, and he's been pretty successful. I think about 95%, 96% of his stuff has been American made, and more power to him. I'm not a fan of the watch. It's made this. I've forgotten the name of the watch, but it's.
You could call the watch. You can call the watch casserole dish, because if you look at the size of that riho, it's about an inch thick that goes around the rim. You could bake a pie in it, or
I think
an egg souffle. So call it the casserole.
It's trying to be Roger Smith. I mean, I saw 4 of Roger Smith's watches on Saturday at the British Watchmakers Day, and they're absolutely gorgeous. I love them, and they're very conservative, like you say, OC. But
conservative, but like I don't even know. Like, are those gold applied indices? I'm assuming that they are. There's just so much complexity going on. Like, those look like black painted on dots, which looks cheap as hell. I don't know if they're actually black painted on or if there's something else. But even in the J.N. Shapiro, kind of looks like black printed on. It looks cheap.
I think we had that topic on the last show, but I don't remember the watch. I think you make a very good point. No, it was a previous project. I think the main problem here is you have a watchmaker who is no doubt skilled, and you let him loose, but there is not really a concept, a design concept, how to imply all those ideas that he has into a design which is favorable. So I agree with OC with the deep dish pizza there.
Cast iron pizza pan.
It's just awful. And if you have a good designer, he would say, no, we have to work on that. He's a watchmaker, and he loves doing what he does. And probably he didn't really think about that. He just made it, or probably his hands are handmade and have to be that thick. And that's how it went. But in my opinion, this is a visual mess. It is also, you said ornate. In my opinion, it's a little bit obnoxious. And so it's too much of something, which then results in a mess. at the end of the day. And that is my main criticism with
These are
with
particularly bad angles because the indices get lost and you don't even see what
Yeah.
you don't even you barely see them.
Yeah.
So
I was waiting for a comment for that hanging zero at 10 from UOC.
yeah,
I'm a
I mean,
little
you
bit
could, because
disappointed.
I don't know if J.M. Shapiro, if his design language is concentric circle dials, like that might be something to hang his hat on. You know, like you have these concentric step down dials, which could be cool, but in this particular implementation where you have that 10 hanging over the lip, it's kind of weird, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a little bit unnecessary, but who knows what the idea is?
Well, it's necessary because what else are you going to do? I mean, you're not going to cut off the 10. I mean,
Yeah, but it still it sticks out like a sore thumb. I would say
hanging over the ledge.
Yeah. So that is a little bit my beef, and probably in the next project or in the next generation, he talks to a designer, and the concept will be then a little bit more constant or a little bit more, how do you say, unique or balanced.
Organized.
Yeah. So that is my main.
There's too many patterns. There's too many patterns going on that dial.
Look at the you could say the same about a Breguet dial, but here it's also then this flashy thing. You have 3 different types of guilloche. Then you have that guilloche on the case flanks. Then you have a different finishing on the movement. So we all can complain or say, what do you want? He's really putting in the effort, but it's just a little bit too much, and it's a little bit too shiny and a little bit too loud, everything.
Yeah. I agree.
The negativity is really mind-blowing. Should we show a nice watch just to wrap this show up?
Go
I
on,
mean,
then.
by nice, if nice according to your definition.
I think we can all agree on that. 1 second. I showed it this morning on the Escapement show already, and nobody complained. Not even people like OC. So have a look at that. So Russ,
look at that, Russell.
our friend Russ, at the moment is on vacation, and he's showing off his new Patek Philippe minute repeater with that beautiful flanqué enamel blue dial.
Very
Did
nice.
you see that Watches and Wonders last year, OC? The Patek stand. Yeah, I saw it. It's my favourite Patek release of last year. The minute repeater. Gorgeous. I saw it on that orange strap, and look at that dial. Gorgeous.
He keeps on sending me pictures of this particular watch, and the dial is really amazing. I've been asking him if he was in the opera, and in a dramatic pause, if he then activated the minute repeater. So far, I didn't get a reply, but yeah, that's a beautiful.
Do you think it's surprising that that Patek Philippe tends to use the Breguet style numerals as often as they do, rather than that special faceted baton that they also employ? That it's kind of like a Patek iconic design. I mean, they don't concede ownership of the style of numeral to Breguet or anybody else. They use it maybe even more than any other brand.
That is a good point, and I would agree with you that this type of dial layout doesn't really scream Patek Philippe because of the lack of the classic Calatrava design language. However, it's just beautiful, and I can't imagine this watch with a Calatrava button.
With batons, yeah. Although it'd be interesting to see if. Go ahead. Sorry, Thomas.
So I was just going to say the rounded case is so nice, really nice. Sorry, Elsie, carry on.
No.
My only beef is the email writing at 6.
Yeah.
The email,
which is it French for enamel?
Yeah,
it's émail, and that means enamel, yes. But I would, they have an international clientele. I think it wouldn't be a big error just to leave that out, because You just stumble across it when you see it. Probably not in my age because my eyes are not sharp enough anymore. But it's a little bit. That's the only thing that I have to moan or mock on that. I think the orange strap is really nice. He also got a blue strap, and he told me he got 2 extra deployment buckles. So Patek Philippe were really generous with this particular watch.
That's a beautiful watch. So a hefty price tag.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
So we have 1 hour and 20 minutes. I think it's time to wrap this show up. I'm posting the link again, just in case that somebody, Thomas?
I'm just saying, wrap it up.
Yeah, I thought you were giving me the sign to hurry a little bit.
No.
Hurry it up. Let's end this thing.
So yeah, let's end it. I've posted the link again in the chat. Maybe Thomas, OC, and I will be there for 5 minutes to reply to further questions. Thank you very much for watching the first show. OC spruiked his own YouTube channel again.
Right.
Hope that we're getting a lot of subscribers new. Thank you very much for watching the show, and I hope to see you all on the next one. Thank you very much, OC and Thomas, for joining me on the panel.
Everyone.
Thank you very much for everyone who commented and was watching. Thank you.
Peace out.
Bye-bye.